Hi, good evening, and tonight is the 15th of August 2021, and every week we do a look back at this week. So this is a look back at the sort of Monday, Tuesday, the Wednesday, the Thursday, and the Friday from Zimmer and Peacock for this week. So every week we do this retrospective look back at the week, and this is that vlog and podcast. So this is not really such a technical vlog. This is more based on the kind of news and updates from Zimmer Peacock. So let me sort of jump into it rather than just talking. And some news that we put out from Zimmer and Peacock this week. We were going to cover this in the developer zone, but we got a little bit busy, and I had to kind of we didn't really have the time. But at Zimmer and Peacock, we make screen printed electrodes. We make hi Ali, hi Aftab. We make screen printed electrodes, and we try to always be fairly innovative. And so we're starting to play with augmented reality. So you can see here it's quite a simple app, or quite a simple application where you can take the screen printed electrode and from Zimmer and Peacock, and you view it through the smartphone, and then it sort of augments the reality, and then you can see things like the working electrode, the counter electrode, and the reference electrode. And actually, while I've got people like Ali and Aftab online, guys, if you can think of cool things we can do with augmented reality, in biosensing or in screen printed electrodes, with the hardware, just let me know, because us, we're quite innovative. So I like augmented reality. I think it adds a richness of information or data. You look at a screen printed electrode, for example, and it tells you essentially nothing. And one of the first questions you sometimes get is, which electrode is which. But of course, this simple demonstration that we've put together, you can see that by just using the phone, and the phone obviously recognizes the application recognizes that this is a screen printed electrode from Zimmer and Peacock, and then it puts this animation over the top of it. So guys, especially Ali and Aftab, if you've got any ideas about what we could do to kind of enhance the biosensors with this augmented reality, I'm super interested to hear your ideas, because we're that kind of company. So this week we just put together a nice little bit of a demonstration around augmented reality. I think it's something we're super interested in at Zimmer and Peacock. You have virtual reality, you have augmented reality. So anyway, we can kind of use these technologies to improve the user experience, or to kind of enrich the information, the data. We're very interested in kind of hearing what your ideas are around that. So that was just something that we put out there this week from Zimmer and Peacock, just some news. Now we also put out some news this week. People do ask us how to join Zimmer and Peacock, and in our ZP Developer Zone, we did a slightly different ZP Developer Zone this week. We talked more about actually how people can join us, and so I'm not going to go back over that now, but it was about a 20-minute presentation about all the different ways that people have come to work with us, or do work with us currently. So that was part of the ZP Developer Zone. If you're watching this webinar at the moment and your questions are more technical, please do join the ZP Developer Zone, because every Thursday 8 a.m. we definitely do a quite technical presentation, answering questions. And I want to say that the ZP Developer Zone, it's not just about Zimmer and Peacock. Actually, we do have some really well-educated, experienced members of the in the ZP Developer Zone. It's getting bigger, and there's some significantly smart guys in that, and smart people in that Developer Zone. So if you've got any questions regarding biosensors, this webinar is just really a bit of fun. We talk about the news from this week, but if you really want a technical dive in, put your questions in the forum on the ZP Developer Zone, and the guys, including myself, will comment and answer on your questions. It's probably worth saying that Aftab, who's online tonight, he is essentially a ZP guy in India, and he's extremely experienced. So it's definitely worth coming into the developer zone and asking your questions there. March of the robots. So just a bit of news from Zimmer and Peacock. I think this will actually be quite interesting to people like Ali. At ZP, you know, every week I say to you, look guys, we're growing, we're investing, we're doing new things. And this is an example of that growth. This is one of our engineers, Andre. He's in the new building, so we've got this new 4,000 square meter facility, and he's setting up a new robot. So the footprint of this robot looks, you know, it looks small, but I mean, a robot like this costs over $50,000, 50,000 euros. You know, so it's not a significant investment, but it certainly is an investment. You know, so when you guys ask us, you know, well, how do you get repeatability? How do you scale up? I mean, it's not low cost. You know, this is, in fact, when I look at this now, I can see that this one's actually got 3 heads on it, so it looks like it can do sort of 3, you know, things in parallel. So let me just say, yeah, we talk about that we're expanding all the time. We've got that new facility. I say we're going to kit out that new facility with new equipment. And Andre, you'll see him sometimes in our videos. He's really experienced. He's an interesting guy. He's got biosensor background, electronics background, and mechanical background. And he's been busy setting up a new robot that we've had delivered in Norway. So many of you at the ZP Developer Zone, I guarantee in the next couple of years you'll make your way over to Norway. Not many of you, but some of you hardcore guys will make your way over to Norway, and you'll be able to play with this type of equipment as well. But also in the UK as well. We're going to put robots like this in the UK as well. But anyway, some news from Zimmer Peacock this week. We've been making investments, and we've been buying more robots so that we can increase our throughput of biosensors. And I know it's been hard because many people are interested in joining Zimmer Peacock, and it looks like sometimes, you know, it's hard to get in. So I just wanted to give you a sense that, you know, we have been recruiting. So this is Johanna. I mean, Johanna's lucky because she's in Norway, so it was, you know, it's easy enough. You know, if people are in Norway or the UK, then it is easier to, you know, bring new people in. But this is Johanna. She's holding it's hard to see because the picture is small, but she's holding a bunch of what we call wire sensors in her hand. So Johanna is really good at actually soldering. She's got many talents, but one of them is really good fine soldering. So she's probably been soldering these wire electrodes. So it gives you a sense that there is recruitment going on. So that was Johanna. This is Ulrich. Ulrich is, you could probably tell from the name, is originally from Germany, and he's really a molecular biologist. And a lot of the work that we do at Zimmer and Peacock, you know, we're known for electrochemistry and biosensing, but we do things like RT-PCR. We do a lot of immunoassays, and so we do have a strong team with, you know, who have a lot of biologists. Cellular biologists and molecular biologists among them. So this is Ulrich, and he's just started with us. So you can see, you know, that's definitely a new face that I don't think any of you will have seen before, but we are and have been recruiting. This is actually Joe. Joe's just flown from the UK to Norway. Joe's actually a material scientist by training, but he also has some sort of more general engineering skills here as well, and I can see that he's obviously doing a bit of soldering here. I think this, Ali always notes on these kind of things. You can see that, you know, we're not just, as you would expect in this modern age, we're not just soldering. You know, we've got the extraction running as well, so that, you know, we're protecting ourselves from the fumes from the soldering. But it's just give you a sense of, you know, new people, and as we come out of COVID-19 now, we are starting to be able to fly people around again, slowly. Let's have a quick look at here. Yeah, that was Joe, so I've shown you that one. So I just want to show you a few pictures of some new starters or some new things going on. Yeah, this is Ellie. Ellie's got an interesting story. So when we were doing the webinar on Thursday, you know, people were asking, well, how do I start at Zimmer and Peacock? Ellie's a good example. Ellie was very proactive. She was doing an undergraduate degree. She was writing it on glucose sensors, and so she reached out to us. She interviewed us. We told her about the strengths and weaknesses of screen printed electrodes. She included that interview in her thesis, and she was also then lucky to also get, well, not lucky, she was also then able to get a placement with us over the summer. So I think, and this picture was taken in Norway as well. So it just kind of shows that people reach out to us and start interacting with us, it can actually lead to, positions and recruitment with us as well. So there's Ellie. Let's have a quick look who we got next. Yeah, this is Olivia. So Olivia also reached out to us last September. She's been working with us now as what we call an on-call online with us for a while, but now she's actually now flown out to Norway, and Olivia's working on some biosensors here. I can see she's cabling up probably some sensors. So so that was Johanna, there's Ulrich, there's Ellie, there's Olivia, there was Joe. So you can see that we have not just talking about bringing on new people, we definitely have been bringing on new people. So as I say, this webinar and vlog is really not intended to be highly technical, but this is just, it might be interesting to you. At Zimmer and Peacock, we don't talk about the microfluidics as much, but we definitely are interested in making microfluidic features and making microfluidics. This is just something that we did this week. In order to make a screen printed electrode a biosensor, you often functionalize that electrode. So you functionalize that electrode, but you also then want to sort of think about the sample itself. So what we've done here is we've taken the screen printed electrode. Now we've been doing this on a actual program for a client. So we've taken the screen printed electrode and we functionalized it, but now we've put a well around the electrode, so that when the sample goes on there, it doesn't just free to spread around as it would just due to hydrophilic interactions. It's contained within this little well, and so we have a circular well and we have a rectangular well, and this kind of this is the way we often make microfluidics because it's so low cost and so easy to do. We don't try to be super complicated with our microfluidics, because if you try to be super complicated, it's super hard to manufacture it. But we keep it simple. Somebody wants to put a sample on there, they don't want it to spread or fall off the sensor, so we just make a little well, and we made a circular well and we made a rectangular well, and then we just measured the volume, so 25 microliters or 35 microliters. And that's a real thing about electrochemistry. You can do this kind of work with optical sensors as well. I absolutely know you can, but it's just so easy just to be able to take a drop, put it on the sensor. That drop's more than enough to do the analysis, and so it's, if somebody asked you, well, what kind of volume do I need in order to do an electrochemical analysis, and the answer is less than 25 microliters. We have smaller microfluidic devices that have 4 microliter volumes. A lot of glucose sensors on the market, a lot of these glucose strips, they have 300 nanoliter or 0.3 microliter volume. So it's easy as but it's quite routine to be able to do electrochemical analysis on a sample that's less than 30 microliters. That's really no problems. So I just brought that up because it's, like I say, this particular vlog and podcast is not meant to be super technical. It's just some news from Zimmer and Peacock this week. So when you look back at this week so far, we've done the augmented reality. I'm really interested in hearing. I want some of you, especially some of you developers zone members, to think about what we could do with augmented reality. But we've used it just to kind of show how you can help actually label a screen printed electrode. So that's kind of interesting. If we look back, we've also bought in some new robots, cost over 50,000 euros, but that's the kind of investment it takes. You can see that we've brought in a lot of new faces, and we hope to there are actually new people joining on October the 1st. We have these waves of people coming in, and then just want to kind of touch on this microfluidics. Just, you know, we're doing it on a client program, but it just shows you. That's nice. I appreciate that comment. Somebody just HN just said the well idea on the working electrode is an excellent one. Thank you. It's so simple, isn't it? But you know, so simple to do, but it gives such a different user experience, because when you, with that kind of experience, when you do something like that, it's clear to the user where to put the sample. You know, otherwise you're trying to explain to them, oh, you have to cover the working electrode, the counter electrode, reference electrode. But real users like veterinaries, nurses, foods technologists, they don't know working with it. Yep, cool. Right, so let me jump into this might be quite interesting to, I think, to AFTAB might find this quite interesting. So we've been showing that we have these very small electronics recently, and I did say, you know, we're making them so they're implantable into fish. Well, the technology's come on a bit further now. So now we have the sensor. You know, this sensing element is, you know, we call it a wire electrode. So this is something that we sell on our web store, but it's really tiny. You know, there's a tiny little sensor. All this cabling is, you know, depending on the application, you don't need all this cabling really, but it's just to carry the current to the electronics. But you've got a package here which is about 20 millimeters long. It's got power in there. We got the batteries are in there. The electronics are in there, and there's a transmitter so that we can actually send data out to the capsule. This wire which terminates here, and that's where the sensor itself is. So it just gives you a sense of what I really like about electrochemistry. It's what I really like about electrochemistry is you can get it down into these kind of tiny packages. And what I will do is just wrap up a little bit. And what I will do is just go here. And just one final thing for this week now. Just a little thing from this week. We have been getting some inquiries because we've obviously been making this nitrate sensor for some time. Is it IoT enabled? So that's a good question, AFTAB. I'll answer that question in a minute. So the nitrate sensor stuff, what we've been doing is we actually realized that, you know, we've got these massive essentially experiments going on where we've got the sensors in these buckets and we've got the nitrate rods in there. So what we're doing now is we're actually offering this as a service because we realize that there's plenty of people in this world who are trying to make new nitrate sensors and make the nitrate sensors slow release. And so we've got these kind of, you know, we've got these very instrumentized experiments running where we can now put different nitrate fertilizers in there and we can actually watch the release of the fertilizers, because the way these jigs are set up, we can actually pour or put fertilizer at the top and then watch it essentially travel through these jigs, because we actually have taps at the bottom so we can sort of run solution through them. So I just want to answer a question that AFTAB just made whilst I was chatting away here. Is it IoT enabled? It's a good question. Is it IoT enabled? It is IoT enabled in terms of, it's, you know, it's got this transmitter. So our entire intention with this is to actually send clearly the data to the cloud. So the quick answer is, it is IoT enabled. Is it open enough that anyone can just use this now and start doing their own applications on it? It's not quite ready for that, but that is something I'm very interested in. You know, I really want to, you know, at Zimmer and Peacock, we really want to disrupt biosensing, and, you know, if we can help more and more people with their technology, then I think that's what we want to do. So it's IoT enabled in terms of we do have the ability to we have to transmit the data out of the system, and we do have to send it to the cloud in order to kind of interpret the data. So I think I might be having hopefully not too many, a few buffering issues this evening, but I apologize for that. But like I say, every Sunday we do something that's not meant to be so technical, though we have touched upon a new sensor package tonight, we have touched upon nitrate, and we have touched about microfluidics, but it's not meant to be super technical. If you're interested in much more technical, then please do the 8 a.m. London time webinar. But I'll just summarize that very quickly and say, every week Zimmer and Peacock does this webinar or this podcast just to say, you know, this is the news from this week. So this week we have been recruiting, installing new robots, making those simple microfluidic devices, and thanks HN for the comment. And we've been, you know, expanding our services and actually starting to test for other people's fertilizers now to see if they're actually slow release. And I would be very interested in the Developer Zone members thinking about augmented reality. You know, what can we do to help people understand biosensors, or what can we do to help people understand screen printed electrodes? So augmented reality is a cool technology. I see Saran is online as well, so he's one of our key engineers, so it's nice to see you, Saran. So I will wrap up now, but I do appreciate it. You know, you guys come on every Sunday. We do a quick, you know, chat. We just talk about the news from this week. I think it's worth saying that Zimmer and Peacock, we do like to hear your ideas as much as our ideas. I generally think that the best ideas in the world are not within the businesses. They're actually other people's ideas. So if you've got ideas, you want to collaborate with us, then, you know, please reach out to us. We are collaborating with quite a few people at the ZP's Developer Zone. And yeah, there we are. Cool. So Aftabs has some ideas about augmented reality. That's just cool. All right, I'll wrap up and sum up and say thank you very much for attending this week, guys. This is a dialogue, so I do look forward to, you know, chatting with you guys on, you know, LinkedIn and email, and I will a couple of you, I've got some meetings with you this week, and I'll say hi and see some of you on Thursday, and I'll talk to one of you tomorrow night as well. Okay, take care, guys. Thanks very much, and cheers, Saran. I'll